Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for being here and for joining us along with our partners at Nokee Kwe to learn about Nanda, a free digital skills training program for Indigenous women. My name is Stephen McKenzie. I am the Business Development Manager and Digital Skills Operations Lead at RoboGarden, based in beautiful Calgary, Alberta. And I'm very glad to be hosting today's informative webinar. At RoboGarden, we use fun, interactive, and collaborative game-based learning to develop and expand our students' digital skills. We are pleased to be tailoring 2 of our courses for Nokee Kwe to help bring the Nanda project to life. Before we get started, I would like to acknowledge that the area which Nokee Kwe serves is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Lenape-Wook, and Attawada-Run peoples. These lands are connected to the London Township and Sombra Treaties of 1796 and the Dish with One Spoon Covenant Wampum. This land continues to be home to diverse Indigenous peoples whom we recognize as contemporary stewards of the land and vital contributors to our society. The First Nations communities of this area include Chippewas of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and Munsee Delaware Nation. We also acknowledge that we at RoboGarden live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, including Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, the Eeyakse Nakota Nations, and the Métis Nation Region 3, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. With that said, today's webinar will be about 1 hour long and focus on information about the first course in the Nanda program called Introduction to Digital Transformation. We will start with an overview of the course, including details such as the format, the length, and learning objectives. Next, we will discuss the benefits of the course delivery and how the knowledge gained from this course will set you up for success. Afterward, we will have one of our star RoboGarden instructors and digital skills bootcamp grads, Nicole Woodland, introduce you to the learning platform, how to navigate it, and dig a little deeper into what you can expect to learn in this course. Then we have a guest speaker from Nokee Kwe, Katie Wilhelm, explaining the significance of Nanda, career support provided by the team, and the demand for technological skills in London, Ontario. We will finish off our time together by answering your questions and then explaining how to enroll in this fantastic program. Just a few housekeeping items to mention. Please note that this webinar will be recorded and available for additional watching shortly after the event. If you are having technical issues related to this presentation, please email webinars, WEBINARS, at RoboGarden, RoboGarden.ca. We are monitoring the mailbox and will reply right away. Regarding the communications during this presentation, please use the chat function on the Zoom toolbar to leave comments or ask questions. Our facilitator will be monitoring the chat box and will ensure that these questions are addressed during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. I'm now going to provide you an overview of the Introduction to Digital Transformation program. This is the first course in the Nanda program. This course was chosen to establish the foundational skills needed for the following course in the Nanda program, cross-platform app development, that students will start after they finish the introductory program. The first group will start the course on August 3rd, and it is delivered through an online learning platform tailored specifically for this program here at RoboGarden. The course takes 60 hours to complete and can be finished by students in about 6 weeks. The course format is dispensed online and asynchronously, meaning that students will be learning at their own pace at the time of their choosing. In the digital transformation course, students will learn about the technologies used in the digital transformation era, from basic programming concepts to the fundamentals of JavaScript and Python programming languages, as well as learning about data analytics in general. As a student, you will also be introduced to current methods of digital transformation, including automation, artificial intelligence, or AI, virtual reality, also known as VR, multi-experience, and blockchain technologies and their various applications. You are going to learn and practice your skills using the fun and interactive RoboGarden game-based environment. On this learning platform, students will be given the opportunity to apply the programming concepts and language fundamentals that they have learned to build apps, games, and solve real-world programming challenges. Essentially, by the end of this course, you will have a range of new technical abilities and skills. You will be able to recognize new and relevant digital transformation technologies, be able to develop your own software algorithm, and apply your new computational thinking to design and develop a simple game from start to finish. Course graduates will also boast the ability to develop a web application using the programming languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that they learned during the course. They will also be able to integrate these talents and create an application using the Python coding language that performs data analysis. Lastly, those who successfully complete the course will be better equipped to differentiate between different technology-based career opportunities and to choose which career path is best suited for their unique capabilities and preferences. This may sound like a lot to learn. However, this course is perfect for beginners as it has been designed for anyone who has an interest in learning more about technology. The tools students need to create a foundation for success in this course include access to computers or mobile devices and fast connectivity as part of day-to-day life. You definitely do not need to be a computer whiz, a mathematician, a numbers person, or have any additional technical skills at the start of this program beyond how to search the internet, either from a computer-based browser or mobile device. In fact, the course is set up so that each student is well supported throughout their entire online learning journey. Students will have access to our IT team here at RoboGarden, which has a great response time and will help you out if any technical issues arise. We also hope learners will find that by having smaller and relatable cohorts, there is a successful and collaborative learning atmosphere that is supportive and conducive to your success. This is important as there is a massive and growing demand for technology-based skills and software development in Canada. And this digital skills development program is designed to help you access the thousands of well-paid, future-proof employment openings that Katie will be talking about a little later in this presentation. For those of an entrepreneurial or secondary income mindset, we help you access global sources of projects where you can earn while you develop your skills. You will love being in demand. You may ask what happens when you complete the course. How will you start generating income with your new skills? RoboGarden has completed many cohorts with a similar version of this course, and our methods for ensuring graduates are able to quickly realize income generating opportunities with their new skills, are really key to the success of their program. Leaving you with that exciting thought, I'd like to now hand it over to one of our instructors here at RoboGarden and a successful course graduate herself, Nicole Woodland. Nicole is going to show you the learning platform and the course learning modules in some more detail so that you can get an idea of what to expect as you navigate through the learning materials yourself. Nicole?
Awesome. Thanks, Stephen. Can we switch out our screens here? Yes. Where are you? Here we go. Okay. So good afternoon, folks. I am extremely honored to be joining all of you today as you consider starting this new adventure. Like Stephen said, my name is Nicole, and I am one of the instructors on the RoboGarden instruction team. And my background is actually in geological engineering, and I grew up not too far away from London, actually, but I now call Calgary home. I actually pivoted my career into technology after my second maternity leave. I welcomed a second little girl to my family. And joining the technology sector here in Canada has given me the ability to have a flexible work schedule and to be able to work from home so that I can be more with my kids and still provide for my family. So I've got about 10 minutes here to give you a little bit of an introduction to the RoboGarden course platform and kind of show you how the course works and some of the content that you would be exposed to in this course. And I'm really excited about this because I know that for me personally, understanding how some of this technology works and what it is has given me a bigger lens and a better understanding of this world that keeps changing around me. So I'm really excited to show some of this content to you today. So once you access the site, it looks like this, and it contains the 4 modules that Stephen talked about. And you'll see here there's 4 focus areas: digital transformation, computational thinking basics, a basic introduction to app development, and then an introduction to data analysis using Python. And this platform is actually really great because the content is all here. You don't have to go out and buy another textbook or other software. Everything that we'll be using in this course is open source, which means it's free, which I love. And you can do it all from your own computer. So if I go into this first module here, it's called digital transformation. You'll see that there's a list of submodules, and each of these contains a variety of activities that you would be completing as you work your way through the course. So often there is a lesson which will introduce the topic and provide further information. And then there's other activities that include some quizzes, there's emulators, some editor activities, and some block games. So if I go inside of one of the lessons, like this one here on AI and artificial intelligence, we can see a list of the different subjects. So what is AI? What does it mean? How does it impact the technologies that I interact with? Where is it being used in our society? Those types of questions. And this section also covers automation, and those two kind of go hand in hand. So as you work your way through the material, there's a description of what it is. And we often see automation, for example, in manufacturing processes. So there's an explanation of how this technology is incorporated and what it's used for. As I keep going, the section also talks about artificial intelligence. So there's some history of it, how it's being used, and some examples like if you were to open up Netflix, there is a recommender engine, which is based on a type of machine learning, which allows you to get prediction or recommendations on a new show or a movie that you might like to watch. And that's all based on previous interactions that a user has had with that software, and also what other users have had using that system. So it all works together to make it a more in-depth and user-friendly experience. We also see artificial intelligence in apps like where we use image recognition software. So something like a plant or a bird identification program on a smartphone, and even all the way up to things like self-driving vehicles. Those are all examples of artificial intelligence and how they're starting to work their way into things that we interact with on a daily basis. So if I go forward a little bit further here, if I jump into one of the quiz activities, the quizzes give you an opportunity to evaluate your new knowledge of the subject matter. And there's different types of questions here that work through the content and make sure that you're understanding as we move through the course. All right. Once we've completed the first module, we'll have a chance to move into the computational thinking basics. And this this part of the course is actually a really fun way RoboGarden has come up with a really fun game style way of introducing computational thinking. So if we move into one of these, we're introduced to a character named Robo, and he needs some help. He needs some instructions to know what he needs to do to complete his mission. So we can see him down here in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. And the requirement for this activity is to actually get Robo to this igloo because he needs to pick up some supplies. And so what we need to do is actually interact with this activity. If I go into this movement section here, I am presented with two different options. I can step forward or I can step backward. And these would be akin to a line of code and when we're working with code later. So it's an introduction to the way that we piece together individual instructions for the computer so that it knows what we want it to do. And if we look at Robo here, he's facing this igloo. So we need him to move forward a few steps in order to complete this mission. So I will create a few instructions here and piece these together. And if I run this, Robo starts to move following the lines of code. So that's great. We completed that activity. If we move on to the next one here, it'll just take a second to load up. In this mission, Robo's actually facing forward still, but we need to go back and collect some boots. So we actually need to give him a different set of instructions. So this time we're going to take a step backwards. But how do I know how far backwards he needs to go? Well, I actually need to specifically tell him. And so in this case, he needs to go 1, 2, 3 blocks backwards. So let's actually add that many blocks of code. And running that, away he goes. And awesome. So that's a really quick introduction to the block style of activities that are integrated in the platform and give a really easy, fun way to start learning how to piece together different segments of code on this introduction to digitalization journey. Okay. So it's actually a lot of fun, and I've spent some time working with some of these different missions, and it's a really easy way to get started working with code. So once we've had an introduction to how to code and how to put together those thought processes to give the computer instructions, it's actually time to build your very own app. And in this basic app development section, we look at the 3 integral components of building that app. So HTML or hypertext markup language, CSS, cascading style sheets, and an introduction to JavaScript. So these 3 different languages all work together to outline the content of your app, how the content will look once you've completed building it, and then actually bringing it to life on a computer or another device like a smartphone or a tablet. In the final activity down here, we'll actually build a book recommendation app. So all the steps are outlined and it walks you through step by step what you need to do in order to make a finalized app of your very own that looks something like this. And with those new skills, you'll be able to go on and make other apps, other simple apps that use these skills for anything that you could imagine. And this is also a really great introduction into the next course in this section, the full stack development and cross-platform app development. Okay. So the last module in this course is an introduction to data analysis using Python. Python is another open source application, which means that it's a free coding language, and it's really exploded in popularity in the last number of years here among data scientists and data analysts because it's so good at dealing with large data sets. So a data set is a collection of information or attributes about an object or a specific topic that we can use to learn about it. And if we want to know something more about a dog, for example, we can collect information like the color or how big it is, how much it weighs, maybe how old it is. We can gain more information about it. And we can use that data about all different things to find relationships or patterns and learn more about it. And we can also create charts or pictures to share that new information with others. So this module would definitely be of interest to somebody that's interested in doing those types of analysis where you're looking at data and you want to learn more about it and be able to share it. So in this module, you'll learn how to install the Python software on your computer. And then inside the lessons, you'll learn how to do some basic coding in Python. And we can take a look at we'll take a look at one of the editors here, which is one of the other activities that's available in the platform. So this gives you an opportunity to try out the code yourself with a series of instructions, and it helps you to make sure that you're on the right track before you even have to move into a different platform. It's all right here. One of the other activity types is called an emulator. And what this one is it gives you an opportunity to look at some variations on a similar line of code to practice understanding the correct syntax and output to get a desired outcome without even having to write it yourself. So you just move through the carousel and select the right answer and submit it to the platform. So these types of analyses let me go back here. So these types of analysis in Python lead into work with machine learning, and that includes artificial intelligence and other topics like data visualization, which is also included in this section. These are projects in exciting sectors like healthcare and manufacturing, robotics, and even social media. These types of analysis all lead into work in those areas. So I went through that really quickly, but I hope you enjoyed this overview and are now even more excited to learn a bit more about digital transformation. It really is a booming sector in Canada with many, many opportunities. I know for me, having these skills and understanding some of the basics of this has really allowed me to better participate and understand some of these activities that are happening and these different career paths. So that's what I've got to show you today. And Stephen, do I hand it back to you?
Yes, please. Thanks so much,
Awesome.
Nicole.
No worries. I'll stop sharing here, and there you go.
Okay, excellent. Thank you again, Nicole, for that very, very insightful breakdown of what the first course in the Nanda project will look like. We're very glad that all the participants here today were able to get that review and learn a little bit about Nicole and understand the potential skills you are able to develop by registering for this course and completing its contents. So now I am going to pass it over to the Vice Chairman of the Nokee Kwe in order to talk more about the project itself, some of the benefits, and some of the learning outcomes that you can expect. Katie?
Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Nicole, for that overview. One thing I really love about this program is that it is going to teach you the very basics of app development, those languages, the definition, how to talk in that industry language. It's so important. I'm the vice chair of Nokee Kwe, but also by trade, I'm a web designer, graphic designer. And actually, I was self-taught HTML, CSS, and JavaScript when I was a teen, and I don't recommend it. There's a lot of trial and error. It takes a long time to do that, and it's very difficult. So to be able to offer this training at no cost to Indigenous women is so important to me. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about my work, and I'm also passionate about my community. And I'm so excited that Nokee Kwe and RoboGarden are delivering this program in London. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you the Nokee Kwe registration process for the Nanda program, talk a little bit more about what it means to you here in London, and show you some job opportunities that you'd be able to have today. So I'm going to share my screen here to nokeekwe.ca/Nanda. And this is going to be your homepage for everything Nanda. So you can see here, we've got a little bit about the bringing this program together, that we've been working with RoboGarden out of Calgary to make the program also culturally sensitive. We've also been working to ensure that you'll be helped along the way, that every single person who takes this program is going to have ample support from both the Nokee Kwe and the RoboGarden teams. Again, I love that it's teaching us those fundamental coding skills, which are cross-industry usage, as you're seeing working in manufacturing, but also having the skills to open up your own web store for your business one day. So that's something that I really, really love about this program. See here, our compassionate staff are going to be working with you throughout the program, and I see some names here in the chat, so thank you so much to the Nokee Kwe staff who've joined us today. We're really dedicated to helping individuals figure out what their best path is going to be with their own career journey, and we're really committed to helping you through that as you go through this program with us. So here's some highlights. It's the free online training, and there are similar courses with the exact same certification being offered at a very high price tag. So again, I'm so passionate about this programming and being able to bring it to you, making it accessible to you at zero cost. It's a 20-week course, which you're able to work at your own pace, which is great because we all know we've got so many things going on through the day. As a mother of a young child, I am not available 9 to 5 sometimes. So it's nice that this program is available to whenever you've got time to go on there. No previous experience required at all. I promise you that. You will be learning the basics, and I think you'll be surprised with how much knowledge that you gain in such a short amount of time. Work with us at Nokee Kwe to make sure that you have the adequate technology. And Christina is going to be your point source for that. So we're going to be mentioning it a little bit later, but her email is christina.r@nokeekwe.ca. If you needed to get in touch with her, if that is a barrier to you, technology, please don't let it be a barrier to you. Contact us at Nokee Kwe. Another great thing is the working in a group setting, the camaraderie and that community building by working with the fellow participants in the program. I know that I've heard that past participants of this program have decided to kind of join forces and come together to create businesses or groups or cooperatives. The options are seriously endless. To have this access to the online support to learn the key concepts of programming really are the building blocks to building a freelance business or getting a job in a number of industries. So I wanted to show you just how many positions are currently open within the technology industry in London. Through the London Economic Development Corporation, there is a resource called London Tech Jobs. On this webpage, we can look at all the employers or we can look at just the individual postings. I wanted to just share with you just some of the positions that you could possibly be looking at having. You are going to be looking at the senior full stack engineer once you've got some experience and some skills under your belt. The user experience designer, UX designer, that's some front-end design, but this language is fundamental in being able to hold a number of positions. So it's not just web developer you're looking at. Here's a back-end, front-end developer position, a junior developer position, software engineer with some upskilling, quality assurance associate. This is at a video game developing company if you're interested in that. Canada Life, quickly expanding, always hiring. Mobile developer, that's a big one that you'll definitely be able to enter into. Another full stack developer, Tags for Hope, that deals with dogs. So you see, there's such a wide variety of industries. These are all London companies, and these are all open jobs as of July 5th. You see here, there's 350 open jobs on this job portal. And this is just one of the many that are out here in London. So if you're worried about finding a position after you're graduated from the program, you do not need to worry. Whether entrepreneurial or looking for a job at a growing or established company, it's all available to you in London once you get that certification. Here, we're going to help you to continue to grow after the program. So once you're graduated and you've got your certificate, the great thing about Nokee Kwe is that we've got career counselors and job developers who are going to be here to help you, again, on whatever career path that you choose to decide once you enter into the program. That's why part of the program actually requires you to do a little bit of an intake process to become a Nokee Kwe client, so that we're able to really help you and make sure to make those connections for you throughout the program. It's very important. So generally, here are the steps. We've tried to make it as easy as possible. And please reach out and let us know if there's any kind of barrier you're facing, because we really want to help you eliminate those. So we look at it as the 4 easy steps to Nanda. The registration, using the registration form on this website, nokeekwe.ca/Nanda. After you fill out that registration form, you will receive an introductory email from our program coordinator, Christina. Some of you may have already heard from her. After which you'll be in contact with a job developer or career counselor from Nokee Kwe to participate in our intake process. Then you'll be all good to go. You'll be set up for your training for the start date, and you'll be on your way to earning your certificate of completion. Also on the side, I wanted to show you the training components section that you can take a look at. It talks about this first course, which we covered in this information session today. And at the information session next week, we're going to go into depth about the course 2. So the Nanda program, see here, is split into 2 different courses. Here's that form. This is the most important part. This is the form that you'll be using to sign up for Nanda. Very simple information that we need from you just to get started. You see here that we're not asking about your status. So any Indigenous identifying people are welcome to apply at no cost. We've got other programs at Nokee Kwe as well that are going to be able to support you on your journey. So again, I want to reiterate that we're very passionate about helping you in whatever career path that you choose. Look at this as a gateway into many experiences and a multi-level learning experience for sure. So to anyone who's on the fence or wondering, should I take this? I don't know, it seems complicated. Please do it. Please do it, because at Nokee Kwe, we're here and we're ready to help you. So thank you so much for coming to today's webinar. I will pass the mic back to Stephen.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Katie, for all of that valuable information and your passionate promotion of this program. We are right behind you and the entire Nokee Kwe organization, ensuring that any registrants for this program are going to be given every opportunity to succeed. And we're really looking forward to working with the Nokee Kwe and all of our learners to make sure that this is a successful program. So also, Katie, thank you for showing everyone for how to enroll and explaining a bit more about the benefits of the program and some of the goals. Also, thank you to all who may have entered questions or put them into the chat during the presentation. We would like to take this time now to answer those questions. Our webinar facilitator will be directing questions from the chat or those who are using the raise hand function on the Zoom reactions toolbar. So how are we looking for questions? Don't be shy. We are here to help you with any inquiries that you may have. Well, everyone, maybe we did such a good job today that everyone's questions have been answered and all of the registrants are already quickly entering their information into the application form. So of anyone who is still participating in the session, are you sure that we cannot answer any questions before we let everyone get back to their busy days? Thank you very much, Jake Martell. And yes, the program does give you access to 2 programs. There is a 60-hour introductory program, and then there is a 90-hour focused cross-platform mobile app course. So the idea is that in the first course, the Introduction to Digital Transformation, which we discussed today, we will be passing knowledge and sharing knowledge around the foundations and the basics of digital transformation and some key skills in that area. And then in the second course, we share knowledge around helping the learners actually develop a application, a mobile app that can be used on both the Apple iOS and on the Android store. So the idea is to provide both the introductory education that is needed to participate in the digital economy in the first 60-hour course. And then in the second 90-hour course, lead the learner into a specific skill for which, as Katie demonstrated, there is huge demand in London and really across Canada. So Jake, hopefully that answers your question. Thank you very much. So another question that's been asked, once you get your certificate, how long does it take you to develop a mobile app for a client? Well, I think that really depends on who your client is. As part of the course, we teach you to access the global project market, for which there are thousands and thousands of projects that you can work on that are available, that are very small and would be appropriate for someone at the beginning of their skill development journey. And then as you go on, you continue to build your skills so you're able to take on larger projects. There are also organizations, as Katie demonstrated, that are very glad to have people right out of a program such as this and then train them to specifically develop the type of apps or work on the type of apps that an organization needs. So the idea with this program is as soon as you're finished, you're ready to do small projects. And as you continue to do small projects, you will develop your skills in order to take on larger and larger projects. And as part of the Nanda program is that we teach you how to find both those small projects and also how to market yourself to organizations. So I hope that that answers the question. Panelists, do you have any other thoughts on that?
No, I think that was a good summary, Stephen. It depends on what you're building. Like if you just want something, a simple form to enter some information, it might be quite quick. If it's a whole experience of something, it could be quite a long, involved project. It really depends what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I think as Katie and as others who work in the industry can attest, there is a market for skills at every level. There is a market for those with junior skills. There's a market for those with intermediate skills and a market for those with senior skills. So the idea is really that as you acquire these skills, you continue to apply them and you continue to evolve. Because as was mentioned, there is definitely no shortage of demand for people with the skills at each level.
I wish that this was available to me 10 years go. Like I said, self-taught is not the way to go, but being led by industry standard practices and very, you know, expert level teachers is really going to set you up for success, even if you decide not to be a web developer or designer. These skills are cross industry. And with us only getting more and more into technology, more and more, I think that understanding some of these principles about computational thinking is going to be so important.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, Katie, is that there is just a huge demand for people with the knowledge about digital transformation and about the knowledge of even what apps are and what they're capable of and what data analysis is and what the capabilities thereof. So there are certainly opportunities in leading projects as well as being a consultant for digital transformation. So you're absolutely correct that these skills can take our learners in a number of different directions.
That's right. And not just a demand for web developers, but a demand for Indigenous web developers. We need more Indigenous voices in the technology industry. And that's really what this is about. That's really why we're offering this program here. We really need your voices around the table.
That's a really key point. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned that, Katie. I'm really excited that there's opportunities popping up like this to provide that avenue for those voices, because I want to see them at the table too. So it's really exciting.
I see a question from Paula. To be eligible for the program, can you clarify identifying as Indigenous? Sure. If you are an Indigenous person and that is how you identify, that's what we need to hear. As easy as that.
Thanks, Katie. And I noticed there was also a question about the time allotment. So yes, so for the first course, it is 60 hours over a 6-week time frame. So we ask that you are able to apply 10 hours a week over those 6 weeks to working on this introductory course.
Stephen, there was a question there about what happens if I don't have a good computer or access to good Wi-Fi.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for noting that one, Nicole. The computer is less important because the program is actually very easy on the resources of your computer. So if you have an older computer, you should still see the ability to be able to take the program, with the caveat that you may need to check with a program leader to ensure that. On the Wi-Fi side, it is important to have consistent Wi-Fi. I think you don't have to have the fastest service out there by any stretch, but just consistent Wi-Fi that is continually available and does not struggle with cutting in and out. And again, if you are not sure of the capabilities of either your computer or your Wi-Fi, please do apply for this program, and you can certainly discuss with the Nokee Kwe representative, and they can confirm with us the ability of either your computer or your service to support this program.
Yeah, please don't let your technology be a barrier to this program. Nokee Kwe has some resources available to you. So please let us know in your registration process, and we'll be able to identify that right away.
Team, are we seeing any other question? Can you clarify about the group work? So in terms of, I can comment on that. In terms of the group work, the idea is that each of the cohorts are going to assemble at scheduled times throughout the length of the program in order to have access to a live instructor to support you, and also to have access to each other, to understand how everyone is doing in the program, support each other, hear people's ideas. So what we'd like to do here is to create a community in each cohort that will not only support each other as you go through the program together, but also look at ideas where learners within the program may be able to collaborate. So we have definitely seen in cohorts we've run in the past where students will collaborate on an idea that one or multiple students have raised, which catches the interest either of a particular group of students or even potentially the whole cohort. So what we do here is we try and encourage as much as possible the interaction of the learners within the program, just in order, again, to support each other and also to share ideas to see where learners may want to pursue either in partnerships or as group efforts. And yes, thanks, Nicole. Maybe I should clarify that. So within the first course, it is a limited amount of group work together. It is just 1 or 2 instructor sessions. Apologies, I don't have the confirmed number of sessions. In the second course, when there are weekly instructor sessions throughout the program, that is when there is the more collaborative approach and there is more of an opportunity for the students to communicate with each other, share ideas, and support each other. And there is a question from Paula. Katie, perhaps you would be best to address.
Sure. Is there any placement opportunities once you're done the course, and how soon can you expect to be placed? Our career counselors and job developers at Nokee Kwe have access to a very great employer list and also access to jobs that may not be advertised publicly. So through your involvement with Nokee Kwe, we ensure that you're working with a career counselor who's keeping your best interests in mind and can have you placed. Now, about the timing of the placement, I don't know that I can guarantee a certain time frame, but I can guarantee that the people who work at Nokee Kwe are very passionate individuals who want to help you succeed.
Thank you for that, Katie. Any other questions from our participants today? And thank you for the question, Paula. Okay, attendees would. Thank you so much, Marissa. Thank you for being here. All right, we'll give the participants about another minute if there are any other questions you want to make sure we address while you have the group of us here together today. And then certainly if any questions come up after today's session, then the Nanda program page is the best place in order to ask those questions. And we'll be more than happy to assist you with getting an answer as quickly as possible. Okay, everyone. Well, thank you again for being here today. Thank you for participating. Thank you so much to the panelists, Nicole and Katie, for your valuable information. Most importantly, thank you to all the attendees for being here, for hearing about the program, for your questions. And we look forward to seeing your registrations and hopefully seeing you in the NANDA program starting August 3rd, 2021. On behalf of all the panelists, thank you again. Have a terrific rest of your day.